Welcome, wrestling fans, to the PW Fan. The PW Fan is a pro wrestling podcast created by fans for fans, and we appreciate you joining us for episode 25. I'm your host, representing the old school wrestling fan, and your favorite barber, Tim Gilbert.
And I'm your host, the architect of pro wrestling podcasts, Andy.
And I'm also your host, the No Selling Wrestling Indie fan, Jeremy.
Okay, awesome, guys. Today we are going to be talking about Edge making a WrestleMania challenge, Brock and Roman's contract signing, our AEW Dynamite review, and more. But first, before we do that, please, guys, head on over to YouTube where you can find all of our episodes we've been posting, and there's now a video accompaniment with that. Please press the like and subscribe button if you so see fit. Please go to Spotify and give us a good review, and iTunes as well. We're on there. For merch, go to Let's try that again. For merch, go to prowrestlingtees.com/the PW Fan to get a Pocket Logo shirt. So yeah, that gets all the shameless self-promotion out of the way. Andy, why don't you start the show for us, man? We got a good one planned for today.
Alrighty. Well, actually, as you were doing that intro, something popped in my head that I didn't write down to talk about, but because it was something brand new. So yeah, let's talk about that announcement that we might have Pat McAfee versus Vince McMahon at WrestleMania.
What about Pat Mcafee?
Yeah, Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee. Yeah.
Yeah. Is this still just a rumor, guys? Does it sound like it's pretty set in stone that they want to do a Vince McMahon match?
Better be a rumor. Like, who thought this was a good idea? And also, why is Vince even wrestling in the first place?
Well, maybe because wasn't there plans for Shane McMahon to be at WrestleMania? Maybe they're like, we need a McMahon to fight Pat still. Vince is going to do it.
Yeah, can't replace him with another wrestler. Have to be another McMahon.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe that was the plan. I'm not sure. It's kind of crazy, though.
Very.
I never thought you'd see. When was his last match, Tim? You would know. It was probably at a Mania. Was it Bret Hart?
Vince's one wasn't it CM Punk?
Was that a match? Did they do a match? The Bret one was around that same time.
Didn't he do one like on Raw?
Oh, God. One of our listeners tweet at us, send us a clip or date or something of Vince's last match. That'd be great.
Either way, that last match, whatever he had, he probably shouldn't have had anyway. And now they want him to to be on this card. Like, God, dude.
I thought he like 78 right now?
I mean, I can look
it's almost
it up,
80.
but yeah, he's definitely late 70s.
Yeah.
So we know that. So it got announced. Whatever day of the week Pat's like YouTube show is on. Vince is going to be the guest. I think it's Thursday coming up. Thursday at noon or something.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not Thursday, but sometime this coming week. And maybe that will be kind of where that kicks off. Maybe he freaks out like Adam Cole did.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
It'd be weird though because Vince is his boss.
Yeah.
To say something to your boss to piss him off would be weird.
I would feel uncomfortable.
He's just like, how? He's like, Vince, products is stale as shit. Vince just like freaks out or something.
Or he's like, I like
when does that
AEW
air?
better.
Yeah, like like I said, it's noon. I sent it in the group chat, so if you guys want to check,
I want to
afterwards or something. Yeah, so you can stream. I mean, it all gets uploaded even if you miss it, like when it airs originally. So, but I'll definitely be looking into watching that and see what they talk about because it's rare nowadays that Vince does interviews.
Yeah.
So that should be good. But moving on to our actual shows, unless there's anything outside show related that you guys heard this week.
Well, still haven't heard anything about Cody, so.
Yeah,
keep going.
It's kind of weird.
I heard. One other thing I would say is that Tony Khan's been teasing this big announcement, which he said is different, not a signing or anything. So people.
That's what I heard. Yeah, it's not going to be a signing. It's something though. But...
Yeah, so people are thinking maybe it's like either he bought Ring of Honor, or it's like some streaming thing, and then like Cody could be the head of Ring of Honor. Like, I don't know, but that seems kind of crazy to me. But he has the money.
This actually has been on my mind recently. Do you think that AEW will eventually do like a brand split? I mean, they have so many wrestlers, guys. And I think me and Tim have talked about this before. Like, they could do it, make Rampage an actual like 2-hour show, not pre-taped. And I know, maybe eventually they'll get there.
Yeah, the problem with
I feel like it needs to be done.
The problem with Rampage is that they don't want to go against Smackdown at all, because if you make it 2-hour at 10 o'clock, then it's going to midnight. Like, no one's going to watch that.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. There's so many top guys there. I feel like they need another top championship. Like, you know what I'm saying? The Galaxy Championship or some shit. But okay, yeah, let's get into Raw though, guys. This week,
I watched
a couple things to talk
all
about
the way through, man.
We
all the way.
I mean, not all of it was great, but there were some things worth talking about.
You know what though? For both WWE
but the show
shows
opened up with
this
Brock
week, I
Lesnar.
actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have a lot more written down this week than like I might typically have for WWE shows. But yeah, so the show opened up with Brock Lesnar. Comes out in it's almost like a Christmassy sweater, like something, and his cowboy hat. He opens the show. Paul Heyman eventually comes out, and he tells Brock where Brock is going to end up being on March 5th. Saying that Brock has to defend his championship March 5th at MSG, which I don't know if you guys have read the matches for it, but it's a pretty big show wherever they're doing. I feel like it's one of those mini pay-per-views. I don't know if they're doing it on I don't know what day of the week March 5th is, but it's a Friday.
Saturday.
It's a Saturday. Yeah, so it's kind of like a mini pay-per-view or something that I'm sure Peacock's going to air.
Unless
it's a house show.
The night before Revolution too. For AEW.
Okay. Well, I mean, no, if it ends at 10, I was going to say they might be able to take eyes off of Rampage or something, but if it ends at 10, it'll be fine. But it looks like it's going to be a big show. So yeah, Brock is supposed to defend his title against Bobby Lashley, but who knows if that'll actually happen, if he'll get cleared or... we know he was actually hurt in some way, right? That's why they took him out the match. But if he doesn't, who knows who he's going to end up wrestling. But Paul says he'll still have Brock's back and make sure it's a title match worthy of MSG, even if Bobby doesn't pass the concussion protocol. And then Brock comes back with, newsflash, Paul, Brock Lesnar is doing just fine without Paul Heyman.
That was good.
I think we can all agree. Brock without Paul Heyman is one of my favorite Brocks right now.
Definitely.
So then Brock decides to tell Paul Heyman where Paul is going to be Friday night, since Paul just had to tell Brock, where Brock was going to be. And Brock says he'll be at Smackdown with Paul and Roman, which we'll eventually get to when we get to Smackdown. But yeah, they've been having Brock open up the shows a lot recently, or be involved in some of the segment. But I'm enjoying it. They're building this WrestleMania match between Brock and Roman as the biggest WrestleMania match of all time. They just kept pushing it this week. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty big, but I think we'll get to it on SmackDown, because that's when they actually were really cramming it down your throats at the final
that's
segment
when
of the show.
Heyman was cutting that promo, right? And saying it's bigger than okay.
Yeah, so we'll get to that. Any thoughts on the Brock segment or anything? Or I think these segments kind of start the show pretty well, and you hope that it's just up from there.
Yeah, I really like this feud. It's one of the few feuds I think that are really interesting for WWE right now, and especially since they've built pay-per-views around just this one feud. It better be good, and it is. It's and Brock being Brock is the best thing ever on TV right now.
Well, it's funny. Like you asked me years ago about Brock and Roman feud. I'd say it's the worst stuff on WWE television.
Right.
And now I'm like, it's my favorite part.
Yeah.
Wild. Yeah, I agree. Like,
Yeah,
I was literally thinking, because I watched today, I was with my daughter all day while my wife was out doing her thing, and I was like, okay, well, we have like a kitchenette on the ground that she keeps really busy with, so I was like, well, she's doing that, I'm gonna try to catch up on some of these shows. So I watched Raw and Smackdown, so it's both like super fresh in my mind. And yeah, I have to say, like, for both shows, like, Brock is one of my favorite parts of the show. Clearly, I don't know if you're watching on the video version, you can see behind me, I'm kind of into collecting the wrestling action figure stuff. Yeah, it's like a lot. And
if only they could see your case.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, I'll change my view one day. I have a glass case with a bunch of shelves too, of like
just every episode pivot. Every episode just pivot a little bit more.
But for that,
eventually you'll get the whole.
But for that case, I have it by eras. Like the top shelf is like 80s, 90s. Then it's Attitude Era. Then it's Ruthless Aggression. And the bottom's like 2015 to like current stuff. And I was like, man, I need a farmer ponytail Brock for the bottom shelf, like 100%. And yeah, he's awesome, man. I love it. Like, I think of him as like a completely different character almost than how he was before. He's like, I love it. And then also Roman is just so sick. Again, video format. I got like the Roman track jacket that they like cheaply made. I noticed he has a different one already. I was like, oh, I'm not getting that one because this is like way overpriced for like one patch.
I was gonna bring this up. I was actually looking for it when he was wearing it. His is patched on too.
Oh yeah,
the one he was wearing it on the ring. It was patched. It was patched.
They look like
it
shit.
Looks just like yours.
This was $50 off WWE Shop, and I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker, man.
They didn't even give him a good one.
Then like you got these throwback Triple H shirts. Oh, so sick. Like their old merch is so awesome. Anyway, keep going.
Oh, well, speaking on it real quick about what you were talking, you're like, I need a Farmer Brock.
Dude, Farmer Brock
just announced
for my glass case.
They're having it'll be out soon because I announced a bunch of Funkos recently, but there's a Brock in his jeans and cowboy boots with his belt buckle, black tank top, and his Viking haircut.
That's perfect.
Are you getting that?
Yeah, I'm trying to get it.
Oh yeah,
I think so. They also have a Roman head of the table one with the golden glove coming out. So
Andy, where is our Eddie Guerreros? We ordered Eddie Guerreros so long ago. Where are they? Distribution problems still?
I don't know if I ever ordered them.
Oh,
that's horrible. I don't know if I ever ordered it.
You just forgot.
I got the Stone Colds for us, but not that. Anyway,
keep her moving.
So coming up in the show, I thought it was pretty cool. So Tommaso Ciampa has been feuding with Dolph Ziggler since Dolph had come down to NXT, and they actually had a match this Tuesday. The winner was going to become the number one contender to face Braun Breaker for the NXT title. But this week, Tommaso Ciampa was on Raw and had a tag match against the Dirty Dogs, and his partner was Finn Balor. It was actually a really good match. Ciampa and Balor were really good in it. Dirty Dogs are kind of a solid tag team, even though they lose majority of the time. But I did notice that they made Ciampa dye his beard again. For a little bit, it wasn't dyed anymore, and now he was on Raw TV. They're like, "You got to dye it." So, but I thought it was a really good showing for Ciampa. Whatever. Yeah,
it doesn't matter at all. Only to Vince.
Well, I mean, speaking of this Ciampa stuff, though, I sent you, Jeremy, something. So, talking about the Ciampa and Dolph stuff, Dolph ended up beating Ciampa, and Dolph is going to face Braun Breaker. Bobby Roode showed up dressed as a cameraman, hit Ciampa with the camera during NXT, and Ciampa lost. But there's a video out there. I guess it was filmed after NXT went off the air. And did I send it to you, Jeremy? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. It was like
he was like, it sounded like he was saying goodbye. So I'm not
to NXT,
not sure
not
if
to
it,
WWE
yeah,
itself.
yeah, exactly. He was saying he loves this place and all that. It definitely came across that he was leaving. So we'll just have to wait and see for that. But yeah, I thought it was a good match. Tommaso being on the main roster. I think I read that they're going to start doing that a lot more, like cross branding with NXT, bringing some of those people up. So I'm sure you'll see someone like Braun Breaker up there soon or something. He's been kind of getting fast tracked to the top.
Just a little bit. I think it's going to be kind of cool to do that because they're kind of similar shows now, kind of how NXT 2.0 is compared to Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah, they're trying to blend it somehow.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, so moving on, we had a Miz TV segment where the Mysterios are the guests, and what we're getting to at Mania this year is the Miz with a tag team partner against Dominique and Ray. And Miz announces his WrestleMania partner against the Mysterios. He says, he throws in some hints saying it's someone that's dashing, which is a little, throw to Cody Rhodes, I guess. I believe. I mean, I wasn't watching during that era. I like stopped. So was there like a dashing Cody Rhodes?
Yeah, it was a dashing Cody Rhodes, and then he broke his nose or something, and wore a mask, and then he changed.
Was that the paper? Is that what the paper bag thing started?
Yeah.
Do you want a receipt?
Because you thought
your paper bag?
Your paper bag. So Miz, is kind of trolling everyone, and then he announces his tag team partner for WrestleMania is Logan Paul.
I hate this so much.
And Logan Paul comes out and they attack the Mysterios. Logan's getting a lot of heat. Why? Why do they always have to add a celebrity to Mania in some way? Last year was like Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
This year it's Logan Paul and maybe possibly Johnny Knoxville. I don't know. We'll have to see what's going on with that.
If they do the Intercontinental match with Johnny Knoxville, that's oh my god, that's like a total disrespect to.
So
it was awful.
What do you guys think of Logan Paul coming in?
I hate him.
Terrible, dude. Terrible.
That's basically
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And I mean, we already like you said, you already got the Johnny Knoxville thing, and then now you're gonna have Pat McAfee and Vince, and then I'm like, dude, what? Too many celebrity things going on. Like way too many, and then Bad Bunny's there.
This is the thing. Pat McAfee can go.
He can.
Yeah, but like
Pat McAfee can go.
There's just too much. I mean, I respect Pat McAfee.
Probably better than Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that looks like we're in for that. Hopefully, it's just on the first night early on.
Yeah, maybe just make WrestleMania one night. If they're gonna keep doing this as a two night thing.
Dude, just have a night where it's like these kind of matches.
Yeah.
And then just have a night of bangers. That'd be awesome. All right. So after that, somewhere down the show, Damien Priests, I think he had a match, or maybe he just came out. Either way, Damien Priest is in the ring, and he challenges someone in the back that is of championship caliber for his United States Championship. And I think that he's saying, for next week, he's expecting an answer or someone. But then Finn Balor comes out, and I was hyped for this. I was like, oh, back in some kind of, title picture. And Balor says, sounds like you're talking about me. And so he's accepting Priest's challenge. Priest has had the title for a long time. I hope Balor either can walk. I mean, I don't know when this match is taking place, but if it takes place before Mania, I hope he's able to walk into WrestleMania as the United States champion. And I don't think he's ever been the United States champion now that I think about it. I know he's been Intercontinental and Universal, obviously, but yeah, I don't think he's been this. So I'm kind of getting bored with Damien Priest, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my buddy. He feels the same way. He does not like him anymore. So
yeah, I liked him maybe for like a pay-per-view. That was it.
Yeah. So I think this was Balor's first night back after a while. I think he was like because he wasn't at the Rumble. He hadn't been on TV for a while. I think he was like taking leave or something. But
yeah, he was in like Ireland or something.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. He's somewhere. But yeah, so I'm actually kind of excited for this. What about you guys?
I hope that
I'm
Finn
excited
wins
for it.
because it'd be nice to see him with a title again.
Yeah, I'd like to see Finn win. I'd really like to see Finn do more. I think he's one of those guys that for the past 5 or 6 years, he's been a mainstay and he's put on excellent matches time and time again. And he's been one of my favorites since he started in NXT. And then I went back and I got really into the Bullet Club stuff. And yeah, I just really like Finn a lot. So yeah, and I like Damien Priest too. I just want to see Finn do a little bit more.
Yeah, it's like they brought him back from NXT and right away threw him with Roman, and then after that, it's like flopped.
Right.
They're like, all right, we gave you something, but that's about it. So yeah, let's get to the final thing of Raw, which I really liked. Even though it wasn't the main event, it was right before it. Edge comes out, and he's on the mic. He's sitting on a chair and saying, he needs a match for Mania, and he's throwing a lot of hints, saying stuff about smoke and mirrors, which I think is a Cody thing as well. Am I right?
Definitely.
But didn't he say something? Yeah.
Yeah, okay. He says something about that. He's like, I will make you phenomenal. So he drops an AJ hint as well. Good promo. I think I read that he's going to come out tomorrow night and, try to get an answer from someone. I'm really hoping it's AJ. I know both guys. I've read both guys want that match, and I think, the hardcore wrestling fans, I think, really want that match too.
Yeah, I think everyone's
Edge can still go. I mean, Edge can still go.
Dude,
he's only a little bit older, I think, than AJ.
So
they might be around us. And it's a show stealer. That would, like, wrestling-wise, that would steal the entire WrestleMania show.
So
or it should.
Yeah, it should.
But if they did want to, if Cody Rhodes is going and they did want to put him on the card, I would kind of be fine with that too.
Yeah, it's either AJ or Cody for me. Anyone else, I don't want to see it.
Yeah. They're like, nah, we're going to get you Steve-O. So yeah, I mean, I'd be hyped for either one of those guys. I want AJ more though. But yeah, we'll have to see. I think I think this week they said we're 6 weeks away. Right?
It is the beginning of April, right?
It's crazy. I was just looking at the countdown. It's like, what did it say? I think you're right, like 6 weeks.
See, and they usually have a pay-per-view right, like, in between the Rumble and that. It's just the Chamber came earlier than one of the normal
it's usually No Way Out or the
pay-per-view.
Chamber.
Yeah.
It's normally No Way Out of the Chamber, so I don't know what it is now.
Well, they did the Chamber. It's just it was so quickly after the Rumble. Instead of waiting like an actual 3 weeks to a month, they did it pretty close. So now the time in between the Chamber and that is a lot more.
I would say though, I'm just saying from I guess me being a wrestling nerd, what if you, instead of doing another pay-per-view for the next however long, and hopefully this is what they do, maybe this is what they're doing, but make it really invest in the Mania. Make those storylines all right, so when these matches finally happen, you're like, all right, let's freaking go, I'm ready to see it. You have enough time, because if you do another pay-per-view, you're going to build up to one more show.
To really build this stuff up.
Yeah, let's make these matches and I really hope this is what it sounds like it's what they're doing. But I think it'll be sick if you I'm already hyped for Brock and Roman. You're saying, a couple of years ago, I would have been but I'm yo, this year, something's different about it. It's Roman's on a different level now. He's like so freaking good. And Brock is a new Brock altogether. So this show's going to be, I think if they do it right, there's a lot of celebrity stuff that I'm like, ugh. But if they get the other stuff, like really, really like get that stuff built up, it'll be awesome.
Yeah, I'm just like you said, like I feel like in the past some matches have been built like really well, and then others are like almost seem like last minute, but they have so much time to build every single match.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's not
really,
really
like,
right now.
Let's go. Yeah. You know, like let's go all out.
And you have
Make
two
Mania
nights. You have 2
so
nights of
sick.
wrestling. Like
dude. All right. So if you get if you give me AJ and Edge, Brock and Roman, Cody versus somebody, like that's already like some fire. Like I'm ready. I'm like, dude, all right, this show is gonna be hype. I'm in.
We got Owens and Austin. I mean,
Owens and Austin
end up being good.
If that dude, like I'm saying, like Mania could be crazy this year.
Fingers crossed.
Come on, don't let us down. You're on the right track. Do it.
We got 6 weeks. But that wrapped up Raw. Let's get into Dynamite, guys. There was a lot that happened this week in Dynamite.
Yo, Dynamite was
starting
sick
with
this week.
The opening contest was a tag team battle royal, which I actually really enjoyed.
I like the end.
With these, even if one guy gets eliminated, when one guy gets eliminated with these matches, basically the entire team, right, has to be eliminated, or not just one guy out and the whole team's out. So,
yeah,
which that helped narrow down to the final guys. It was one from like a bunch of each of the teams. But so your winners in the end were Red Dragon. It came down to Kyle O'Reilly, Matt Jackson, and John Silver, aka Johnny Hungy.
I thought that was
Matt
awesome.
Jackson is up against the rope. Yeah, Matt Jackson was up against the ropes with John Silver, and Red Dragon was kind of having a pact throughout the match-ish with the Bucks. But Matt Jackson and John Silver are up against the ropes, and Kyle comes up from behind them and eliminates both of them. Afterwards, the Bucks get in Red Dragon's face, and then Adam Page comes out to get some revenge from the other week. He takes out Red Dragon. Then Adam Cole comes out, but he gets taken out. And then saved by Red Dragon. John Silver takes out Adam and Red Dragon, throws Kyle O'Reilly back in the ring, and Kyle gets a buckshot lariat to him from Adam Page. Adam Page gets on the mic. He says, "Story time with Adam Page, baby."
Baby.
And I'm trying to remember what exactly he talked about, but the one thing I noticed this entire time, there was no help from the Bucks while Adam Cole and Red Dragon are getting their ass whooped. Do you guys remember what Adam was saying on the mic?
Yeah, I think he just said he was just kind of telling the story of like how he's the better Adam, and that
okay,
basically from where they came from to now, and like he's not gonna lose it. Revolution.
He's like, you'll always be known as the other.
I know he
Adam.
said something about.
Yeah.
That's what Cole had said to him last week, I think. I know Paige did mention something about Adam leaving and then coming back once he wasn't happy with the place he was at, which was NXT or whatever, or once he saw the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
He's like came crawling back to his friends. I'm really looking forward to this match of Revolution. The card is amping up to be really good. As you've watched these shows, they just keep
it's crazy
adding
already.
matches to it. Yeah, it's really good. I'm excited for it. But I thought it was a good opener for the show. But next week, so this battle royal was supposed to lead to a 3-way tag team title match at Revolution, I believe.
Yeah.
And I think next week they're having a casino battle royale to find out who the third team is going to be.
Right.
So right now we got Jurassic Express and Red Dragon So yeah, who do you guys want, or who do you guys think might end up, being a part of that based on who they've been pushing and whatnot?
I really want Santana and Ortiz right now because I feel like they have a lot of momentum and they're pretty hot right now. And
yep.
Yeah, because I don't see anyone else. Like, you already have a heel tag team and you have Jurassic Express as the champions. So then you kind of need someone to balance it out.
Could you do Sting and Darby Allin?
Could. I don't know.
They're not really huge baby faces. They're kind of like neutral. Like,
yeah.
So it actually would kind of work out that way, but oh wait, never mind. It's not going to happen because of I was going to say Mox and Danielson, but they're having a match at Revolution already.
What about? Am I forgetting what's FTR doing?
They're going to be in it too. They could do it as well.
Yeah, they were
I'm always going to be an FTR guy. Forever.
They actually might be. They announced a trios match coming up at Revolution. Actually, it's at Revolution. It's Sami and Darby Allin. So yeah, it's Sami and Darby Allin and Sting versus Matt Hardy, Andrade, and Isaiah Cassidy.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking maybe FTR was on the other side. So yeah, FTR could be added into it. So that's next week. We'll figure out who gets added to that. Moving on, though, we had Bryan Danielson backstage. He's talking about Daniel Garcia and his upcoming match with him, which it will end up being the main event of the show. Then we had my favorite part of the show, which was MJF is in the ring.
Dude.
And phenomenal. It was amazing. It was at least might be the best promo in modern wrestling day history that I can think of. He's talking about his past, and he's talking about he tried all these things, but he was good at football, and he finally made the team when he was young, and he thought he was going to have a bunch of friends, and then one day the football team walks up to him, starts throwing quarters at him and saying, "Pick it up, Jew boy." And this whole time MJF is like, I mean, I don't know how real it is, but he was like, his eyes were watering. I don't know.
He's a very good actor. If it's not,
yeah, if it's not, he's a very good actor. The crowd's actually giving him a lot of sympathy throughout this entire thing, and
at first the crowd was really not sure if they wanted to cheer him at all.
Yeah,
and they were very confused.
And he talks about that day with the quarters, he just thought about, well, I'm meeting my hero, CM Punk, tonight, and that had to do with the picture that CM Punk put up last week saying to him it was just another Friday. And then he talks about, meeting his hero, it was great, and then Punk left wrestling, basically, quit on him. Punk was his hero. So then MJF pretty much became bitter and said years went by and he saw a photo of Bryan Danielson and Punk together, I believe. And he tells himself he's going to become the best in the world, if his hero isn't going to do anything. Punk comes out the end looking very serious. Again, great acting by him in this. And they're not on the mic, but you can see that Punk is asking him if what he said was true. And MJF says it is, and he leaves, and there's tears on his face as well. Not crazy amount, just one single tear coming down, which I felt was good. I feel like too much crying would have been almost over the top, But yeah, this was awesome, guys. And it actually made me gain sympathy for MJF, and it'll be interesting now what their match is going to be like Oh, and yeah, talking about Punk quitting, he says, like, you can beat me down or whatever. He's like, but unlike you, I'll never quit. And that's what he says about his upcoming.
That was a great line.
So, yeah, give me your thoughts on this, guys. It was great.
Yeah, it was, to me, this was the best, definitely the best promo of this year already. And it's only the second month into this year. But I feel like no one's going to beat that. And it's the fact that he's such a hated heel, and he's able to turn people within, a matter of 10 minutes it was. It's just insane. And also, the thing that I sent you guys, I was like, it's actually true what he actually posted on his Facebook in 2015, I think.
That's right, yeah.
About, the whole story. And I was like, what? This is crazy.
Yeah, it was a real post on Facebook, somewhat about it.
Yeah.
Loosely about what he was talking about.
Yeah, so I'm like...
Yeah, this was before he was a pro wrestler.
Yeah.
2015. So.
It's amazing storytelling between
when
them.
you merge real life with wrestling,
yeah,
you just get better promos, I feel like.
Yeah, and it was great that Punk didn't have a mic either. It was he was just talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
It just made it feel more real.
How about you, Tim?
Dude, I thought it was freaking awesome. The whole... Like you said, Andy, when you combine real life with wrestling, it makes it so much more believable. I'm sure 90% of that story is probably true, if not all of it, which makes it even more you get invested in it. And then it's almost so weird. It was almost so strong of a promo that these guys might be going into the match both as kind of baby faces. You know what I mean? Or is the story going to be Punk can finally finish him off, and then he feels the sympathy for him, and then maybe MJF does something heelish and wins in the end, or maybe I don't know. But dude, whatever they're gonna do is gonna be these two guys. There's no two people we were saying last week, a dog collar match. You're I don't know. And obviously Roddy Piper had his classic. But if there's two guys that are going to do this and make it awesome, it's these two guys. And I'm looking forward to this match. And I thought that promo was amazing. I can't see anything in the next at least few years that's going to be able to top the amount of emotion and realness that he put into that promo. That's the pipe bomb thing, but in a different way, where it was more of a story, and because it was almost a true story, and maybe it wasn't all true story, that people were whoa, this is intense. And I'm sure they added in some of the parts where he's when Punk quit, I needed to I'm sure some of that is a little bit of you know what I mean? But a lot of that I'm sure is true, which makes it really
I think
deep.
a lot of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So what we got? It's this coming weekend, right? This coming Sunday.
Listen,
a week from today. So
it's gonna be fire.
And this feud's been a 6-month feud almost, and doesn't feel like it at all.
Well, if y'all want to watch it together for a little bit.
Yeah. So just want to let the guys, or the guys and girls, whoever listens to this show, we have been doing this thing where for bigger shows we've been getting on live, and we might watch it together, and hopefully we can do something where we can maybe set up a camera or two and put something on either Twitter or Instagram, or maybe post something. We'll keep it updated, but we'd like to be kind of interactive during this pay-per-view, because this is going to be a good one. It's going to be cool. Can't promise that everybody will be there. I know Andy and I will at least be there. Jeremy will probably pop in at some point if he can. So it'll be fun. We'll figure something out. So look out for that.
Yeah, we'll just have to figure it out, because this week, for some reason, it's going to be on a Sunday, which is obviously our day we record. So maybe we can just record the next day, guys. We'll figure it out, though. But,
or maybe we just do a pay-per-view special, and you know what I mean, and just do that. Make it
as the pod.
Yeah, do it as the episode.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Either way, we'll do something. Maybe Tim can announce something, or the way we're doing it, once we actually do figure it out. on our social media.
Social media at the PW fan.
So after that, we had a backstage with 2.0 and Daniel Garcia, and they're talking about their match with Bryan Danielson, Garcia's match with Bryan Danielson later at the night. So Bryan got to say his stuff earlier, and now they're saying their own. Then we had a match. It was Kings of the Black Throne versus Pac and Penta. Penta's looking like how he used to. He's not jokered out. He's like in the all black with just the white face paint.
That's an awesome entrance too.
Yeah. So I think you were the one saying you're like he might go back to like his old kind of character, which that's what it looks like he was doing.
Yeah, I think he's called Penta Oscuro now.
El Scaro?
No, Oscura or whatever it is. I can't pronounce it.
I thought you were saying El Scaro. I was like, Miero? Like,
that's the one that it means like dark, like Penta dark, basically.
Gotcha. So I thought it was a good match. In the end, Malachi goes for the mist, and Penta comes up behind him and covers his mouth when he goes for it. So the mist, Malachi swallows it.
Oh, someone figured it out.
Yeah. And I believe Penta rolls up Malachi Black, and the winners were Penta and Pac. Afterwards, Brody King attacks while Black is still struggling to, I guess, catch his breath or whatnot. Then Black recovers. He grabs a shovel and holds it to Penta's throat, and the lights go black. And then when they come back on, Buddy Matthews is in the corner, staring down Malachi, who, he's acting scared, and because I guess they're past and all that. I think they had just had a recent match on the Indies together, too. And so, yeah, Malachi Black is acting like a coward towards him, but then they swerve you, and Buddy attacks Pac and Penta instead. Malachi starts laughing, and in the end, he grabs a chair, and Malachi tells Buddy Matthews to stomp Penta's head into the chair. So yeah, then the Brody King, Malachi Black, and Buddy Matthews all stand in the ring, holding their hands up. Buddy Matthews is all elite, and it looks like he's a part of the House of Black. He had a really good, I want to say this, he had a really good reaction by the crowd. I always liked, in WWE, it was Buddy Murphy, but Buddy Matthews. In WWE, Black and Buddy had a bunch of really good matches together. They kind of overdid it, though. I don't think WWE knew how to book these guys. They were just like, we need something for them, just to have them keep fighting, pretty much. But, yeah, AEW signs another ex-WWE superstar, and I think it's good for him that he got added into the House of Black instead of being lost in the shuffle with all these new guys coming, Yeah. So yeah, what do you think? Good fit for him? Good fit for AEW?
I think it's a perfect fit for him. It just seems the way the AEW is works for him. And also, Buddy Matthews is like jacked now compared to like what he was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the dude is shredded.
Yeah. And being in the House of Black, I think that works for him too. He kind of doesn't like seem like he fits in just because how Brody King and Malachi look, but I think they're going to be great together. I think they're also going to be introducing like a trios title pretty soon.
Dude, they need to with all these groups.
Yeah,
they really do.
They have like so many trio tag teams right now.
Maybe that's what one of the announcements will be by Tony. He loves his announcements.
Yeah, it's like big announcement, and also a Rampage tonight. Like, okay, Tony.
Rampage tonight. I just fired a couple people. Rampage. Don't forget.
I fired and signed people.
Yeah.
The free agent, but he's also walking through the forbidden door. Yeah. What are your thoughts, Tim?
No, dude. Like, I think, okay, my only gripe, and I'm sorry, I just have to bring it up. The lights off, lights on thing is overdone. Like, come on. Am I the only one? Guys,
Every surprise, it's lights off.
Like it's like
and also
every surprise.
Malachi does it so much.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Malachi's entrance has it. Like
that's an old ECW thing, and me being the old school guy, like I know that's where it comes from, and Tony loves ECW, and that's cool. It seems like it's a lot. But anyway, I think it's cool that they signed him. I'm glad that he's involved in a faction because they have signed so many people. I do get slightly worried that they signed all these guys and then, they're not going to know what to do with them all. But a faction's good because each character in that faction is going to play a role, and at least he'll have something to do for a while until they figure out what they're going to do with them next. And I could see Buddy Matthews going after a TNT title. I think there's definitely, talent there that they could use. They got a deep roster. I just worry sometimes that, like you guys were saying in the beginning about maybe they have to do a brand split eventually just to keep it so that everybody seems important. I don't know, man. It's tough because the double-edged sword is we will also be the same guys to be like, oh, the brand split sucks. I hate the draft. The type of fans we are, and other people, like, they get the same way. And so I don't want to be like a hypocrite, but at the same time, it's like their roster is so stacked. It's like maybe it would be beneficial to split some of these guys up and then only have them face once a year, twice a year to keep something special,
Yeah, just but Buddy Matthews, don't put him in a stupid storyline like they did.
No, like and like
with Rey Mysterio's daughter.
No, to circle all the way back, just circling all the way back, like because I know I went on a tangent. I think it's cool. I just think I'm glad that he was brought in the way that he was in a part of a group, so that way, again, Jay Lethal. It's like, what are we doing here?
Super talented, never really doing anything with him. Like,
right?
Yeah. All right, guys, we gotta move on.
No, all good. I'm just
we got a lot more to cover, and yeah, no. We'll just have to see where it goes. It's who knows if they're gonna continue adding on to the House of Black. We know we got I think Swerve Strickland is getting signed, possibly, who formerly known as Isaiah Swerve Scott. We know Jeff Hardy is coming in because that guy ruined it and posted a line interview that was just supposed to be intimate, and Jeff was just doing a favor. But after the Buddy Matthews debut, we had a video package for Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa, and then we had I thought this was a really good segment. The Chris Jericho and Eddie Kingston face-to-face confrontation. Eddie gets out there and he's like, he doesn't know why they're doing this. He's not a sports entertainer. He says, this is a pro wrestling company, not a sports entertainment company. So he's kind of looking at Jericho like he's a sports entertainer instead of like a professional wrestler. But Chris is on the mic for a while. He says that Eddie is jealous of Jericho and that Eddie is scared to make it to the top. He really does a bunch of digs, and I can't tell if Eddie Kingston's acting or not, but there's some things that are said about his grandfather being a failure and his dad being a failure, and so Eddie's scared of being a failure. And Eddie, I can't tell if he's like actually getting pissed off because he keeps saying like, watch it, but Jericho's not backing down with the things he says. So the match is made official between Eddie and him. And Eddie says he doesn't want the mimosa match, Chris, or the falling off the cage, Chris Jericho. He says a bunch of kind of Jerichos he wants, like the one that turned WCW on their head, was one of the examples. But he ends with, he wants the Jericho that his close friend Levesque hated, which we all know is Paul Levesque, aka Triple H. So I thought that was cool that it was thrown in there. But Eddie Kingston is so good, like on the mic, just because everything he says feels so real. I think it's awesome, and I think he took this feud that had been building for a little bit and was like, all right. This face-to-face confrontation actually made me more excited for it than what they had been doing previously with it. So now I'm in. I'm sold on this.
I'm excited for it.
And Jericho looks like he's shredded now somehow.
Yeah, in like 3 weeks.
In 3 weeks, Jericho has abs. He's out there with just a leather jacket. He's in shape.
Crazy.
He's like, yeah. But what you guys think of this confrontation or the things that were said?
Yeah, Eddie Kingston is one of my favorite promos ever, I think. Like I didn't hear him too much because it was on the indies before, but ever since he was in AEW, he's like one of the best promos, I think, in wrestling since then. But yeah, because he can talk you into any match or any feud, and he will talk people into the building, and he did this exactly here.
Yeah, it was awesome. Eddie Kingston, just like you guys were saying, so real. Everything he says feels real. When I was laughing because we talk about all the time the genius of Chris Jericho is that he kind of grabs onto whatever's popular and then sticks with that for a while. And then Eddie Kingston even brought that up in the promo and was like, "I'm not a leech like you, who just clings on to whatever's hot or whatever." And I was like, "Damn." I was like, I can't believe he said that, but I'm sure that was a little bit of a blurred. I even was like, ooh, and my wife was like, ooh, what's going on here? Even she was a little curious. Yeah.
Well, Eddie Kingston seems to have a lot of strong opinions about people in the back.
And he says them straight to them.
Yeah. He'll say them straight to a face or to an interviewer.
Yeah, it was good. Really good promo.
So yeah, I'm excited for this. This is just another one of those matches that's getting added to that pay-per-view coming up.
Yeah, that sounds going to be really good. I liked how when he started, he was like, you can go down the road to, because they were in Connecticut. He's like, you can go down to the road to
yeah, they were right by the headquarters.
Yeah.
That's right. So after that, we had Ricky Starks versus 10 of the Dark Order. It was a Face of the Revolution qualifier match. Your winner was Ricky Starks. So I believe so far he is joining Keith Lee, right?
Yeah.
Wardlow, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Wardlow. And then we'll get another qualifier on Rampage, which will be added to the match.
And I think there's one more on Dynamite. Or is that it?
There's another one on Dynamite. I don't think there's another on Dynamite, but I think there is another one next week.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's one on Rampage for this week, and then there's going to be another one next week, I believe.
Okay.
Okay, so we have Adam Cole and Red Dragon backstage. The Young Bucks walk up and kind of, they're pissed for what happened during the Tag Team Battle Royal. Mad at the Red Dragon, even though it's every man for himself. So I don't know what you expected. One of you teams were gonna have to get out. And after the Bucks walk away, Adam tells Fish and O'Reilly that they need to get along with the Bucks. This leads to a TBS Championship match: Jade Cargill versus the Bunny. Their winner was Jade Cargill. Jade gets on the mic, and people compare her rise to Goldberg. She's got that undefeated streak, like 27, 28, 29, and 0. She's like, then she's going to be 50 and 0, and then she's going to be that. That's what she kind of does. I do too. Yeah.
She's awesome now.
So she gets on the mic, she says, "Who's next?"
No, I was going to say first of all, she's hot. Secondly, I was like,
she is. She's
she's really trying hard to. You can tell that she wants it, and she's not there yet, but you can tell that she wants to. I can just tell she wants to prove everybody that that she's not that it's not a Goldberg type situation. Like she's like, I'm gonna be good at this, and I'm gonna you know what I mean? I can just tell. You can just feel it sometimes that somebody cares.
I think she could wrestle circles around Goldberg.
Oh yeah,
she's actually technical stuff.
She was doing a bunch of submission stuff in that match against the Bunny, where I was like, oh okay, yeah.
Well, if you guys notice, her hair was green. I don't know if that's supposed to troll the people that keep calling her green, because she brings it up.
I thought it was because she says she's money.
Yeah, but she's like, yeah, I am green, like my money.
Oh.
She does all that shit. So yeah, she asks who's next, and then Ty Conti comes out and goes right in the face of Jade, right away. The Bunny attacks Ty Conti, but is taken out, and then Jade takes out Ty Conti. So I don't know if they announced it, but I'm sure we're gonna end up getting that match at Revolution, unless that card is just so full by now. But maybe
they need to add some women's matches to it.
Well, do we have Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker on that card?
Yeah.
But I still think, what happened to the days when every title was on every pay-per-view? If you had a title, it was getting defended, Now there's so many titles out there. This is mainly towards WWE, but I still think, there's only, 5 titles in AEW? There's 2 men's tag, and then 2 women.
Dude, when we talk about the...
put that on the card.
Speaking of titles, I'm excited to talk about that Shinsuke. No, that was last week. But
oh god,
when he got the leg broken or whatever, I was like, dang, that actually looks kind of brutal. When Sami busted his kneecap a couple weeks ago,
yeah,
looked good.
So yeah, we'll have to see if Ty Conti versus Jade is added to the pay-per-view or not. But afterwards, we had Keith Lee interview backstage. Starks and Hobbs walk up. So yeah, we got 2 members of Team Taz in this Face of the Revolution match. Stalks.
Squeaks and weebs.
And then so Keith Lee says that, he actually, for the people in the Face of the Revolution match, he actually knows Ricky Starks from beforehand. And, Ricky comes up and talks a little bit about them knowing each other. But he tells Keith to stay in his lane. And then when he walks away, Hobbs kind of gets in Keith's face. These are two big boys that are... There's 3 big guys in this coming match. You got Wardlow, Keith Lee, and Powerhouse Hobbs. God, dude.
Usually they have 1 or 2 big guys.
Yeah, no, this is woof. It's gonna be Battle of the Monsters in here. So then our main event of Dynamite was Bryan Danielson versus Daniel Garcia, and the winner was Bryan Danielson. The match was 10 minutes long. It was really good. All these guys come in and seem to want to really work with Daniel Garcia, and this match can kind of show you why he can go up, and still look good with people like Bryan Danielson, who's one of the best wrestlers in the entire world.
Yeah, this match was killer.
Danielson, though, afterwards gets on the mic. Yeah, it was pretty technical, if I remember right, but it was also really hard hitting as well. Danielson's whole thing was he wanted it to be violent, or he wanted these young guys to be violent.
Yeah. One of the
afterwards.
Just a quick thing on this match. One of the cool things I saw on social media was this one fan was like, "Oh, I'm just you're just chilling watching Bryan Danielson wrestle," and then he pans over and there's CM Punk watching the match right by the stands. So it's Punk obviously wants to see Daniel Garcia and also Bryan Danielson. But it was just cool to see like Punk just stand there, like arms crossed, and he's watching the match.
Like actually just watching it. Yeah. Afterwards, Danielson gets on the mic only for like a second before 2.0 attacks, and then Moxley comes out to help. And they clear the ring. Moxley gives Garcia a big paradigm shift, and Moxley gets on the mic, and Danielson gets on the mic, and re-says the whole thing that Moxley said about before you team with someone, he has to believe them first. I think he basically says he doesn't need like a special match or whatever to, make someone bleed. So the match is set. Moxley versus Danielson at Revolution. The card just keeps getting better.
I can't wait.
Don't forget. So we got Adam Cole versus Adam Page. We got Eddie Kingston versus Chris Jericho. MJF versus CM Punk. Moxley versus Danielson.
Thunder Rosa
versus Britt Baker. We got the trios tag team match that we have 2 of the 3 teams already. The face of the Revolution, it's a ladder match, right?
Yeah. It's a ladder match. Yeah, because you gotta grab the brass ring.
Yeah. And I think that the last winner of that, which it was announced, they talked about it on Rampage this week, but the last winner of that was Scorpio Sky.
Yeah.
And he got that title shot against Jericho way back when. But yeah, this pay-per-view is going to be awesome.
Imagine if Cesaro comes in that ladder match and grabs the brass ring.
Well, speaking of, Cesaro quietly exited WWE this week. Apparently, AEW has not reached out to him at all. I've always thought, and I think a lot of people that actually are like hardcore wrestling fans, Cesaro's great. Yeah. He just doesn't. Vince never wanted to really push him. I still tell anyone, if you can go back and find his pay-per-view match against Roman Reigns, it was during the pandemic. It was amazing. It was so good, and it would have been believable. Like if Cesaro had beaten him, like that's how they just went at each other.
That was one of my favorite matches during that year.
It was. I mean, especially for the pandemic, like it might have been one of the best matches during the entire pandemic.
Yeah,
it was great. But so that wraps up Dynamite. There's a couple things on Smackdown I wanted to talk about. If you guys want to roll through that really quickly,
I guess if you want to talk about Johnny Knoxville.
Yep, that's what I'm opening with. Sami Zayn's title celebration.
Yeah, let's open up with the meat of the show.
There was a Sami Zayn Intercontinental title celebration. Sami's in the ring, and he pretty much puts out there an open challenge. And Johnny Knoxville's Jackass music hits, and he comes out and he accepts Sami's open challenge. And not that the challenge happened this week, but Sami destroys Johnny Knoxville in the ring, as he should. Do you guys think this is going to get to a WrestleMania match?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, too much celebrity 100%. Stuff, dude. That's what I'm saying.
You don't need more than one. You don't need more than one celebrity.
Yeah. Goddamn, pal. We can have all the celebrities.
It's terrible. Sami Zayn's like, I'll re-sign with y'all. What do you got cooking for me?
Well, right. Yeah.
Hear me out.
Actually, now it would be more
Johnny
like
Knoxville.
Now it would be more like, goddamn, pal. Yeah, we gotta have some celebrities.
God. Just like, look, guys, we're not building stars, so just bring in celebrities.
Yeah. Teach them how to wrestle in 2 weeks, and come on.
Teach them how to wrestle. Teach the wrestlers how to wrestle.
So, that's all I want to say about Sami and Johnny Knoxville. I don't want to get into it because it's just so... I thought it was over with. I thought their thing was over with. He got in the Rumble, yada, yada, yada. No. Looks like they're building more. I don't even know if Jackass is still in theaters anymore. I mean, I saw it
think it
opening night,
is.
but it might. But it's at the end of its run.
Yeah, it's definitely at the end.
So it won't even be in theaters anymore by the time Mania hits.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Sasha Banks had a match against, I believe it was Shotzi Blackheart, and she won. Naomi was on commentary, and it just felt super random, but she gets in the ring with Sasha Banks and announces that they're a team, and they're going for the women's tag team titles. So I don't know if this is a thing of, well, Sasha's a star, but we don't know what to do with her.
It was so random.
Like, hey, don't you remember when you paired her with Bayley for the tag team titles and she left right after Mania for like months because she was so upset?
Yeah, it's like, you know what? Let's do it again, but with someone else.
Yeah, God. So that's apparently a thing. And then right after this, she said, "We're next for the tag team titles." It goes backstage, and the interviewer girls or lady, I don't know her name. I don't think I'd seen her before. She goes, "I'm not sure what they meant by being next for the tag titles." As in, like, does this lady not know that there's a women's tag titles out there? And she's like, she's like, these girls can't wrestle the guys. There's only tag titles for them. Like, she literally was just like, I'm not sure what they meant by being next in line for the tag team championships. Like, all right. But the main event of the show was Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns contract signing.
Bork laser.
There's some good stuff being laser. There's some good stuff being said, and this is when they're hyping up that it's the biggest WrestleMania match of all time. And Heyman says it's bigger than Hogan and Andre the Giant.
He got
bigger
booed.
than, it's bigger than Stone Cold and The Rock. I'm surprised he didn't say The Rock versus Cena.
Yeah,
you know. It's like, hey, dude, we've had this main event before.
Yeah.
It just wasn't title versus title. We've had it a couple times. Yeah. So the only reason why it's big main events because now he's the tribal chief.
Yeah.
And it's title versus title, I guess.
It's always the biggest main event.
But you got Roman calling Brock a farm boy again. You know, he says that this cameraman is mine, this ring is mine, the people are mine, WrestleMania is mine. You know,
this is my yard now.
It reminded me of like Anchorman, where Brick is like, "I love lamp," and he's just pointing at things and saying, "I love it."
I love lamp.
Roman's just out there pointing. He said, "The commentators." He said, "The commentators are mine."
It's like, oh, so you own people now.
You own people now. It's like, alrighty. In the end, and then he ends with the security in the ring are mine, and they all surround Brock, and there's like 8 of them.
Yeah, I was like, let's go.
Brock just takes them all out. He takes out 8 security guards.
That's right.
Like they were nothing, as he should. And you know, crowd was there for it. You know, it's fun to see Brock Lesnar destroy people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess the contract, I think it got signed with all that chaos going on beforehand. But the match is now official. It's Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, title versus title, the second night of WrestleMania, which is the real WrestleMania event, main event. Not WrestleMania event, but main event is the final day of WrestleMania. So Roman is in there for the second year in a row as the main event. Last year was Edge, Bryan Danielson, or Daniel Bryan, and Roman when he stacked him, as he says. Smashed them, stacked them.
You think they can have Brock do that every week until WrestleMania? I'll be happy with that.
They could have him what?
They can just have him come out and destroy people every week until WrestleMania. That's fine.
Yeah, sure. I'm in. I'm down for it. That wrapped up SmackDown. I just wanted to talk about a few things on Rampage this week. The opening match was Sammy Guevara versus Andrade for the TNT Championship. Man, Andrade stays on Rampage when it comes to
only wrestles on Rampage.
He only wrestles on Rampage. It was a good match. Andrade's one of those guys where he came in before everyone was coming in, and they really haven't figured out what to do with him.
Yeah, it's weird.
Because he's really, I mean, God, his matches in NXT were so good, especially like him versus like Malachi Black. But we didn't get that match, in AEW. We got them random team up at one point. But the winner was Sammy Guevara. Matt Hardy attacks Sami. Afterwards, and then Darby and Sting come out to help. And they take out Matt Hardy and Isaiah Cassidy. So this is what sets up what we were talking about earlier, which was the trios tag team match at Revolution. It's Matt, Isaiah Cassidy, and Andrade versus Sammy Guevara, Sammy Guevara, Darby, and Sting. Which, I mean, I guess you got to put the TNT champion somewhere on there.
Yeah,
can't find him his own guy to wrestle against. Can't build the food for that, but put him on there.
I just can't wait till
Sting's got to be on pay per view, so you got to put him somewhere on there.
Yeah, I just can't wait till Matt Hardy's done with this stuff, and then Jeff gets there. Because it's March 6th is the pay per view, and so March 9th is when it's up for his.
Jeff technically could, I think. So March 6th, but if his 90-day ends the 9th, does that mean he can't show up until the 10th?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, I don't know if it's...
So he couldn't do Dynamite.
Yeah.
Because Dynamite would be the 9th.
Yeah. Just like Rampage, but tape it.
Yeah. Unless Tony buys out his last day of the contract.
Yeah.
But this is what I see happening, that Andrade just takes over the HFO, and then it's... there's no more Hardy part of it.
Yeah. And then Matt would have to turn face somehow.
And then Matt and Jeff get together and then they face Private Party or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It makes sense. Okay, so after that, I want to talk about QT Marshall comes out and he's talking about Hook, and he's like, yeah, everyone loves Hook, but he's saying that he trained Hook, and that Hook wouldn't be who he is without him, and he even looks at Taz and says I made that. It's like, well, I mean, not physically,
yeah,
not physically.
I made that,
and then he tells Hook to come out, and Hook walks out. He's just sweatshirt, sweatpants. He's chilling hard,
fresh out of the strip club.
Yeah, fresh out of the strip club, And QT Marshall has a couple students run after him, and Hook takes out 3 of them like they're nothing. Basically judo flips one over him onto the ramp, takes out the other 2. There's a 4th guy, but he runs away. I don't know how they can start getting Hook into these actual main feuds. Unless QT Marshall is the next feud for him. They haven't wrestled, but there's been a lot of stuff with them. So the student takes out the teacher, I guess, at some point.
Yeah. And hopefully it moves on to something more serious.
Yeah. Now, was the main event of Rampage, was it Orange Cassidy and Anthony Bowens? Was that the main event?
I think it was.
Okay. Well, before we get to that, because I didn't write this down, but Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa had a contract signing that, contract signings never are calm. So it went off the rails a little bit. Mercedes Martinez even comes out and is kind of on Thunder Rosa's side now. But yeah, I mean, Britt Baker had some word to say. I thought her promo was pretty good. I don't remember exactly what it was or what was said, but I just remember, I liked it. I thought it was good. So yeah, it's official. Their match is happening at Revolution. Do you think it's time to take the belt off of Britt Baker? Do you think Thunder Rosa will win, or do you think they're just gonna keep it on?
I was thinking about it, and I'd be okay if Thunder Rosa won. and took it off her. Because I feel like Britt Baker in the past few months hasn't really done much at all. And like I'm finally glad this match is happening. And I hope it's good because I want Thunder Rosa to win then.
Well, I think Thunder Rosa is awesome. She's always been like one of my favorites. Before all these like other people start coming in, she's been there a little while now. You know, she's sick.
Yeah.
They had that really good blood and guts match or whatever.
Yeah, that was the start of it between those two.
Yeah, so Thunder Rosa was saying that Britt has never technically beaten her because it was a non-sanctioned match.
Right.
So it doesn't count against their win-loss record to each other.
Yeah.
How about you, Tim? Time to take the belt off Britt?
Hard to say because she is very over and she has had a very long run with it. Yeah, I mean, I can see it. I'd like to see Thunder Rosa with it. So if there's going to be somebody to do it, I'm cool with it being her.
Well, who else could it be? That's kind of my question. It's like, who else is believable to take it off of her?
That's also
besides like Jade, but
it's just not there yet.
You know, who's yeah. So, but yeah. So the last thing I want to talk about was, and I forgot. You know, I didn't think it was that important. Now I'm thinking about it, I was like, for the pay-per-view it is. So I believe the main event was Orange Cassidy versus Anthony Bowens of the Acclaimed. And the winner was, it was the face of a Revolution qualifier match. So a winner is added to that match, and your winner was Orange Cassidy. So let's hear the lineup for this match so far then. It's Keith Lee, Wardlow, Powerhouse Hobbs, and then you got Ricky Starks and Orange Cassidy. Someone's getting destroyed.
Yeah. Ricky Starks and Orange Cassidy getting thrown around.
Maybe not, though, because Hobbs has, you know... or Hobbs is like... can protect Ricky a little bit, maybe.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
they're both Team Taz. Now, I'm realizing, unless... Was it... Did Wardlow wrestle on Rampage? Because he had a thing with Shawn Spears go on in his match.
He wrestled, I forget the guy's name, but the guy who's like, I don't know. All I can remember is that he's very hairy.
Nick, Dick.
Yeah.
Something. Big guy.
Yeah, big guy.
So he's going for a powerbomb, and Shawn Spears takes a chair and smashes, I guess, Wardlow's fingers. And Shawn Spears gets on the mic. He's like, "Look, buddy, powerbombs, they're not getting over. I'm going to need you to stop them." And the crowd's booing, and like Wardlow's just getting more and more pissed because clearly the powerbombs are over, but Shawn Spears is just being freaking Shawn Spears.
He's being the worst.
So that was just one.
Because he is the worst.
You know, you absolutely despise.
Just wait until Wardlow starts powerbombing him. It's gonna be the best episode.
It's gonna be the best thing when he turns and hopefully he works his way up the pinnacle, destroying the pinnacle and starts with Shawn Spears.
Yeah,
and then just ends with Tully and kills him with just 10 powerbombs.
The crowd's like, one more time.
Then we don't see him ever again.
Yeah,
he never comes back.
So that wraps up everything I got today, guys.
Well, I guess that kind of wraps up the show. So that was, episode 25. This was fun, and I wouldn't feel right with closing the show out today without like bringing something up. And I definitely, it's not part of our like normal thing that we do, but we are living history right now, and there's some stuff going on in the world. And I just wanted to say that if we do have any listeners in the Ukraine, that I'm heartbroken for you, and I hope you're okay. And if we have any Russian listeners, that we know that this is not something that you wanted to happen. It's not in your control. So, it's a shame all around. And I feel like because we're recording this and it's going to live on the internet forever, it's something that I have to bring up because it's important. And yeah, I just wanted to say our hearts are with everybody who's dealing with those situations over there, and we love you guys. Join us next week. Don't forget to follow our social media and all that stuff. But really, that's not important today. We just wanted to say that we love you guys, and that's how I want to close the show. Yeah, we will be back here next week with episode 26. We're going to cover pro wrestling, and that's what we're going to do. And hopefully the next time I have to bring up what we just talked about, it's going to be saying that this whole thing is over with. So join us next week, guys. Care about you.